Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me in Painting with Inga. Well, my palette is pretty, I'm an oil painter, so we're going to be doing oil painting. I'm using wood, and it was previously gessoed or varnished, uh, for me to paint on with maybe a shellac or something, or, I think that's what I may have used. But my palette is a little crazy, and it's kind of how I work. Harmony with other colors and colors that are juxtaposed against other colors. Um, I often mix them and blend them, but there is such a thing as a clean palette, and I am going to go through that in the lessons, and I'll probably post a nice clean palette to Google Classroom, so you can join me there. Google Classroom. Okay. All right. So I'm actually working on a photo. So this is my reference. But what happens with my work is that, as you may see that this image sort of came out in the paint. It's not even really there. It's definitely not in the photo. It's not even in the position of the photo. But I saw it when I was blending paint, or when I moved whatever else was there with my palette knife, and I sort of just got rid of whatever else I was working on. This came to fruition, and this child is sitting now, and his legs are coming out. And so I'm going to work on bringing that out and using my imagination to do so. Memory, recollection, and logic, right? And intuition. So that's what we're going to be working on today. I have my coffee. Good morning. Okay, so I first want to start with the fact that I am an oil painter, and we're going to just do it 30. Okay, so we're just going to go on, and I'm definitely going to be searching for certain things in my palette that I put out already, like yellow ochre or oranges mixed with whites, burnt siennas mixed with whites, blues as highlights, yellow, cadmium yellow. Often I don't see in the skin. Sometimes I do. It may come off as a green. I have here also my, here we go. So I'm just going to use a very small, very thin, it must be like a #1 round brush, okay? And when I soak it in my oil here, my linseed oil, and I guess some people call it thinner. It's not, I wouldn't say thinner. This is linseed oil, refined. But like when you mix with paint, it kind of thins it out. Now I'm assuming that's what some people are doing. I don't know. But anyway, let's go into the face of this child. Like I said, I want to use a little ochre yellow. And I love ochre yellow. Ochre yellow can just be muted down so well. So I'm gonna use my palette knife to bunch up my titanium white here painting. And as I was saying before, there are some things when I start painting that, literally just don't exist in the paint, in the reference. I mean, I often start painting and wind up realizing that, the reference is just not enough for me, and that I need to listen to my intuitiveness, intuitive mediumship, and find out what they want to talk about, because what they want to talk about visually is so much more exciting than what any photograph can tell you, because I do believe, to an extent, to the artist, a photograph can lie, because we can see deeper than that. We're working deeper, we're working faster than that photograph, and we're working in real time. So it's really important to see, workings of of real time, you know. And there's some really interesting things I also want to do with this painting that I want to share with you, besides just the portrait of the young person that I'm working on. And I'll just show you very quickly where I'm at, and you can see that. Okay, all right. So there we go. There's that. So here we go. I'm just going to keep using that reference and get some nice little colors in here, a little darker than what I'm seeing. Reach out for that titanium white. Now, I mix colors in a very strange way, and I'm going to just show you a little bit of how I do things. That's my palette. It's a hot mess. And at one time I wasn't proud of it, but it gave me the results I wanted. It's my palette. I put colors down as I see it. Sometimes I work on a larger palette. Sometimes I just get addicted to whatever's there. So I'm a very organic artist in that way. I don't like to, just, I don't know. It's like, I'll set up a beautiful palette and I'll do the same thing the whole time. I'll just keep mixing things up on each other. And I just want you to know, as a student, there's a whole nother realm of why you want to have a clean palette and why you want it, because you want to learn. You want to learn the right way before you make your own way, right? Because you want to know what works and what doesn't work, right? You want to know things like, can I use oil paint over acrylic, but can I use acrylic over oil paint? I mean, those are things you learn in school, right? Those are things that's why we are there. And we also go to school to understand who we are. And in this, and I'm adding some titanium white to that same little ochre, yellow, and burnt sienna mixture. And I'm just gonna lighten this area up a little bit more. Eventually I'll scrape all this off and start. But I wind up, what I do is I cover my palette in plastic, and I save it, so because the oil paints are expensive, especially the good stuff, and just wanna make sure you have it there. So, and just a little bit of local color, just a little. I like to add like that in very, very little spots. I'm still drawing with my brush is what I'm really doing. So I'm drawing with my brush. I'm looking to tone down some of the whiteness that I see, because that's not there. And I'm going over. So I'm going to here. There we go. And here, in this area right there, right there. And then right here, in this area right here, right there. And so there's this lightness that we're attracted to. We want to see it. And there he goes right there. And there. And that's a little darker too, but I'm locating things. I'm still drawing, I'm still locating where the lightness is, and then I'll go back over that. You see? I'll go back over. I think this goes back a little further back. It's just a little baby, and then we go in here and over. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little bit more of the purple. Maybe put a little bit more purple down. I think I got some. Yeah. And this purple is like a mauve. And I'm just going to add it to this area in here. Just tone that area down. And then here, yeah, just turn it down. Oh, what about over here? What about over here? It goes down in there. Yeah. Up in here is this lightness that you must see. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Right? He's in here, he's light already here. But there are planes to the lightness. It just is not everywhere, It's in certain areas, right? some lighter than others. And in that respect, okay, so I'm going to start now that I got my lightness down. And it could be lighter. I'm going to take a little titanium white. I'm going to mix it in with my cerulean blue. Yeah. I'm going to get nice light cerulean blue because sometimes the lightness of an area is so light that it actually has color, right? Right? It's actually like there is no black without blue. And there is and brown, right? And there is no light without dark. It's just a fundamental thing, you know. So there's no real white either. It's made of different things or absence of color. This here is what the eye sees. The eye sees variations of color, even in light. Within it, nothing is white, you know, or absence of color. So here we go. Right? So it's getting a little bit more powdery. See with this cute little self. And he definitely has this comes up. So this is darker, but it's light, right? So we kind of, I'm wiping. I am constantly wiping my brush when I want to change color and when I'm dipping into linseed oil, okay? So it's almost like I'm using, for those of you who use watercolor, making sure that my brush is wet, but not too wet. And that's it. This is gorgeous. And so here we go. Okay. We're still, and in here, you see that blue as well. You see it because that's gonna, yeah, it may look like it's a yellow, but it's not a yellow. It's a blue. It's weird. It's got white. I want it very, very light. Okay. I could even maybe put a little, it's gonna be like, I feel like a little bit more rose in there. In here, there's blue. I just see it, so I'm going for it. Okay, highlights. I'm just going to be right back. I need water or water-like substance. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to also now I'm just going to take my I'm going to do two different things. I am going to take my palette knife and I'm just going to do this. And I'll tell you why I like to do this. I don't know, most of the people in my family that are crafts people or artists, they're carpenters, and it may be my attraction to wood when it comes to working and paint. Like I go back and forth, you know, I do love canvas. I love it because of the give and that it gives and you know, just the medium itself is very interesting. I mean, the surface itself is interesting. Painting on a drum sometimes. In this area here is darker. So, but I do enjoy, you can also, you know, do things like that. You can, you know, do that with your fan brush and just blend that area there. You know, but I do enjoy the palette knife because I feel like it makes a almost even blend very quickly. No drama, just boom, 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 boom. It's over. And this is darker, very dark, actually. I'm trying to decide how dark I want it to be, you know, but it is darker. See that? So this is where my painting, muddy, comes in. This is where it just kind of reigns supreme, right? Because like now I need a muddy color, and it's not always going to be brown, right? You don't want it to.